Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Duda Rock Albert.
Think Geek and the Craft Beer Club. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 361. Still Got Game is the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Duda Rock Albert.
And Tiffany Electrify Nolan is sitting behind the producer's desk today. And I look like fucking Max Headroom on the stream right now for some reason. I'm blinking.
Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
It's happening on Skype too. Oh, well.
Everything was fine until we went live, and all of a sudden all hell's breaking loose. But we're going to roll with it tonight because most of our audience only listens anyway. So I guess we'll just jump into the show proper, since we are on a streak here, two weeks in a row. Jay and I hosting, 2 weeks hitless, and 2 weeks with Tiff in the producer's chair. So this is a new realm for us, and it's pretty distracting watching myself. Like I can't not see it, and it's happening in 3 different spots. I see it over here on Skype, I see it over here on XSplit, and I see it over there on the actual stream.
You could try to turn your camera on and then turn it back off, like just do a quick on and off and see if it actually fixes it.
All right, hopefully that doesn't kill Tiff here. But
Well, it should go to the same place. It should. Whether it does or not, it can't be held accountable for.
yeah, that's pretty weird.
Did you actually turn it off? I didn't even see it go off. That's even weirder. Oh, there it goes.
Well, see, because I was seeing it in XSplit also. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, why
well.
don't we just jump into the show proper, and we'll start off with feedback from last week's show. Remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. And please leave us some fucking voicemails. Nobody does that anymore. Maybe because we're mean to people or something. But yeah, just leave us some voicemails. Come on, help us out.
Do it.
Burnt Bagel comments. I'm going to read this in my my Burnt Bagel accent. You might hit it nail right on the head. Slip, slop, slap was a sunglasses sunscreen PSA we has here in Australia back in the 1980s. My friends and I use it all the time as an exclamation now. That was a horrible Australian accent.
Terrible accent in every single way. Like you got mates slightly okay. I wouldn't even say that. Everything else was horrible.
Yes, but so yeah, we were right. Although you looked up and it was something different. You found some internet slang for slip, slop, slap. But
No, well, it was right. So there was what he's talking about, which is the initial thing that comes up. But then there's something else in Urban Dictionary that I think but because of this, turned into that other thing.
nice,
Right. So it's still the origin is still the same, I believe.
excellent.
Yeah.
But we are glad to have some Aussie listeners, I guess, is what we can take from this.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Mika comments. I've added a bunch of podcasts to my rotation over the years, but yours is still my favorite. Thanks for all the years of entertainment.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
It has been a lot of years.
I'm impressed you haven't moved on with your life, but that's fine. That's good. I'm glad. Good for you. Stick with it.
Exactly. Some stick-to-itness is always good. We're approaching year 12 or 13 of the podcast now. So yeah.
I just got something on LinkedIn that said it judges when your start dates were at jobs, and I was at Tool to Play is on there, and I got like a message like 12 years or 13 years at Tool to Play. I was like, oh Jesus.
I know. We've been doing this a long time, my friend.
Because wasn't it? It's April, right? Because we decided April Fools was like the
unofficial
right around the start.
date.
Yeah.
So that would have been April of 2005. We went live. We started in 4, and then we didn't take it live until
Right.
5.
Yeah. I forgot I have the launch team shirt as well. That is 205.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
That is right.
All right. And last but not least, Spinner31 comments. I run a DJ business with a friend of mine. While I usually run the music, I left him in charge at a wedding last weekend while I went to the bathroom. On my way back, I heard, this episode of Still Got Game, beginning thing. But it stopped before things got weird. I'm still not sure how he managed to play it, even though brief, but I thought you guys would find it funny.
Yeah, I mean, you want to kill a party, you just you play that intro. right in the middle of a party, and people are like, seriously, everyone's going to go home.
No. I just wonder whether we got to the actual sponsors. Like,
you're like, oh, you
think game was brought to you by Think Geek and the Craft Beer Club, or if they just got to Still Got Game and killed it, or I don't know.
Let's hope they pull the plug soon.
Yes.
I don't know if that's really dancing music. I don't know. Probably not.
No, definitely not. Although maybe our intro music is, except you got Hitman's voice over it. Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dudar.
It's so monotone and like he just
like
got
NPR?
out of the hospital and like he's still on like, whatever medication they put him on. Yeah, it is. It's great.
Yep, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, well, thanks for the comments, guys. And if any of you have feedback, you can just call 773-527-2961, or you can email us at podcast@tooledtoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Joel Dude I Rock Albert, what are you playing this week?
I am on my third copy of Overwatch. Oh. I own 3 copies of Overwatch, and so I've been playing the Xbox version now and ranking up in Xbox. So that's what I'm doing. So now I don't play multiple games. I play multiple of the same game.
So what is your third copy?
So I have 2 PC copies, one for a Smurf account where I don't lose rank, one for my high rank, and then one for Xbox.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. 3.
This is pretty crazy.
It's great. It's great. I love it. And I'm loving it on console because it's definitely easier to do. So it's like Christmas noobs all over again. Every day, Christmas
Every
noobs.
day is Christmas noobs.
It's fantastic. It really is. It's a good time.
Nice.
I highly suggest it. What about you? What do you play now?
Well, we kind of got a little Destiny in last week. Our raid team is now deciding that they think we've had enough of the raid. So other than that, I played, it's not on here, but I played a bunch of Overwatch last week, which was fun. Played some of the Quake Champions beta, again, when that was live. And I played 2 games of Lawbreakers beta last night, and that's always awesome. And a little bit of Pokemon Go whenever I'm in the car or out and about.
It's nice now because, see, now you've got a good mix of games. Before it was only Destiny. I'm actually happy to hear. It's like you're happy to hear me not playing WoW anymore. It's the same thing. Because it's always nice to get out there and play other games for a while.
It is.
Now I'm stuck on Overwatch, so I can't really,
Now you're the one-game
I'm
pony.
The one-game guy. Exactly. Yeah. But I will try, like, every now and again. I still have Horizons, which I feel like is one of the best games made for story that I've ever played. And I just can't. It sucks, but I don't. I haven't put the time
into it. Yep.
It's like I want to, but then I'll go to boot up the PS4 and I'll be like, Because I've got the problem is I got the PS4 on that TV back there, which is fine because I can sit on the couch and play it. But I truly, unlike most people, want to play at my desk right here. It's my preferred method. So
just do what I do. Put splitters on everything and bring them over.
I think I might do that.
Like I play at my desk here is where I play all of my console games now because I stream them from here and they all get fed right into this monitor. And
so do you have a long HDMI cord that comes to your monitor? Because the thing is, it's kind of far, but it's not, I could just wrap it around.
I have 2 really long because I split it and I take one half into my video capture, the other half directly into the back of one of the monitors, and then I switch inputs on the monitors. That monitor basically becomes a TV.
Right.
And I play there, and then the screen next to me is where I have XSplit running, and
all
I can
streaming.
Yep.
Yeah. So what capture card are you using, like on the?
I'm still using the HD PVR. Yep.
It works. Yeah. I've seen your streams. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like you need an upgrade.
No, the only thing I had to do was once I initially set it up, I had to set the delay for how long that thing takes to encode the stream, which is a constant. So once you set it once, it's fine, which is like 2.2 seconds. And then everything's fine. It lines up with my voice and the talking and the sound's always lined up because the sound comes through with
directly
with the picture and the sound come together. But yeah, it's a decent way to roll. And
yeah, we'll do that. Maybe I'll just beam it up. I don't know if it'll actually make me play more because the problem is always on PC. There's a button right there. I just click it says Overwatch, and then I'm playing. So
you just keep your control, like you just keep your controllers right over by the PC, and then exactly. You just fire it right up from there. Press one button and it's on. So same sort of thing.
True.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over to the new releases? first new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it is Friday the 13th, the game. And this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. This is Gun Media's open-world third-person survival horror game set in the 1980s Friday the 13th universe. In addition to the single-player game, the main selling point is the asymmetrical multiplayer of this game. So basically the way it works is one person plays as Jason, and the remaining 7, although you don't need 7, but up to remaining 7 people play as camp counselors. Their goal is to either escape the camp or just survive until camp is over, aka time runs out. The graphics look pretty fucking awesome in this, and all the motion captured kill scenes are so over the top and amazing. Like, I know they were kind of leaking them online for months and months. They would show the different ones, like this, getting this girl with the chainsaw, or this guy with a pickaxe, or they were very reminiscent of the stuff you saw in the Friday 13th movie. So those look really good. There's no early review scores out for this yet, but I feel like it's going to do pretty well. There's a lot of good buzz around it, and I know a bunch of big streamers like our buddy Prodigy he's fucking absolutely loved this game.
Really?
For the longest time, and he's been doing the beta for it. So yeah, I think this thing's going to do pretty well. And it'd be nice to see an asymmetric multiplayer do better than Evolve that we all.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of. Yeah.
So some do it well. Like Evolve didn't really do it well, but there was that weird game we saw way back when that had like some people were people and other people were like alien slugs or something. It was we saw it at E3.
Oh God, what was that?
Years. Yes. Yeah. And you even had those guys on.
Yes, Tiffany actually interviewed them.
Yeah.
And I don't remember their names now. But they were really like one of the to be fair to them, they were one of like the beginning guys to do it. This was before Evolve even.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an interesting game. Send New Gods.
No,
right?
No,
that's the other one.
That's the interview Tiffany did. This is an interview you guys did.
We did with them.
You did it with
right.
You and LB did this one.
Right.
And it was some weird. They were like from an overseas somewhere, and it was a pretty cool asymmetric multiplayer.
I've always thought the async stuff had a lot of leg to it. I mean, I think the only thing that always got to me was who picks the one guy versus everyone else, like, and how to keep that all fair. That's kind of part of the thing. But I do like the concept, and using Friday the 13th is really ingenious. It's kind of the perfect fit for that exact model.
Yeah.
Because I could see myself wanting to be Jason, but also wanting to, like, I can see the desire to be both. I think a lot of people want to usually be like the one monster guy and a lot of the other ones, but this kind of makes sense on both levels. So,
yeah, exactly. Like it's not, you don't feel shitty being the guys that aren't the monster, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's interesting. I won't buy it, but it's an interesting concept for sure.
Who knows? Maybe someday if it goes on some kind of crazy sale or whatever, I might pick it up. But yeah, definitely not a day one purchase for me.
No.
All right. And the other new release out this week is also a multi-platform release. It's out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC, and it's called Get Even. This is Farm 51's creepy new first-person thriller game. You play as Cole Black, a mercenary equipped with an AR headset and obviously some badass weaponry. You start out by infiltrating this hostage scenario where there's this girl held hostage, and you gotta save her, and there's a bomb there that you have to disable, and then all kinds of shit goes crazy, and that's really when the game starts. And their story is very they've kept it under wraps going into now, so that nothing really is spoiled by it. Graphically, the game looks amazing. The gameplay is fluid and super interesting thanks to you having this AR thing. So like you can see, like if you're peeking around the corner into a hallway, it has kind of lean mechanism, and so you've got your gun out, but you can kind of the augmented reality is filling in what's going on behind the walls and downstairs, and so it gives you kind of that tech perspective to it. But then again, at the same time, the whole game has this kind of weird thriller, sci-fi, mystical thing going on to it. So it's really impossible to tell what's going on unless you play the game. There's no review scores out for it, but it looks like a lot of fun. And the pre-embargo reviews that have come out without any scores or anything, people are talking pretty highly of it. But
really, this is another. It's funny. We have two new releases. I think conceptually are different enough to give a look at. Like normally we've seen a lot of games in the last few months, especially pre-E3. We're usually not going to see anything.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is usually
so to see games like this, it's kind of nice. Like these are at least different types of games. I don't know. I don't know enough about Get Even to even have like an opinion about it, but it does sound like it's a
definitely go
cool departure.
if any of you are remotely interested, go check out just Google Get Even Game and go watch their trailer, which is really a gameplay trailer on their website. And you won't know what the fuck is going on either, but you're going to think it looks pretty damn cool.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? First story!
So many things are wrong with Destiny 2. And that's what the story is about. Destiny 2 on the PC will not have dedicated multiplayer servers, and neither will the game on any platform, because it's not a part 2, it's an expansion pack that you'll pay full price for. There's good news and bad news about Destiny 2 for PC games and gamers. On the plus side is the fact that it actually exists at all, which is good. That is a plus side. And the first game never left consoles, as we all know. But unfortunately, it looks like we will have to settle for multiplayer matches without dedicated servers. Is this 2005? What year is it again? I can't remember. I thought technology moved beyond this a long time ago. Destiny 2 will instead continue to rely on the shitty, completely unreliable peer-to-peer networking that can easily be screwed over by other players with lag switches and every other thing in the game. That's terrible. For players, this means that they will have to deal with more lag and, of course, instability in their frag fests. Dedicated servers, on the other hand, I wouldn't even say they are more reliable. And something PC gamers are really used to seeing. This is, I think, the biggest downfall for Destiny is PC gamers, I will tell you this right now, do not put up with this shit. So this is weird to even see it. Quote, it is complicated typology. Destiny 2's PC lead, Dave Shaw, told PC Gamer, we do not have dedicated servers for Destiny 2 on PC. He went on to acknowledge problems some players have had with Destiny's low tick rate, or the speed at which the game actually communicates back and forth to the servers, which, by the way, Overwatch has the highest tick rate of any game currently on the market, only for PC. Yes. So while Shaw isn't discussing any potential solutions yet, it is at least a good sign that Bungie is hopefully thinking about it. I'm sure they know that gamers are mad about this. But also a bummer for PC gamers. We still don't know when they're actually going to get Destiny 2. That has not been released. So the game is scheduled to hit for consoles on September the 8th. And things are still up in the air on when it actually will reach PC gamers' hands. Quote, we are not committed to a PC game or PC date yet, but at Bungie, we're totally committed to making a PC build as great as we can. Destiny 2's director Luke Smith told PC Gamer. Quote, our partnership with Blizzard, which is awesome, by the way, and being on Battle.net, we want to make sure this version of the game has the time it needs to bake in the oven so it's a delicious piece of bread when it comes out. I have so many thoughts on the Destiny. I could talk just about the Destiny 2 release for the whole show. In fact, I almost wish we had the whole show just to go through all that stuff. But for this, it is the largest disappointment I've had for a game in a very long time. First of all, 30 FPS on a PC, on console. That is completely garbage this day and age. No dedicated server. I don't even think you should be able to get away with this anymore. I don't even think it should be a $60 game. This is some seriously low-grade technology for a company such as Bungie. So that's what I'm going to say for now. But what are your thoughts?
Well, obviously, dedicated servers on PC is... dedicated servers should be on everything now, especially with Azure cloud services and all this other stuff. You just spin off servers like Titanfall did like 3 years ago. There's really no excuse not to do that. As far as the release date part not being the same, although it would be nice to do it, this is Bungie's first attempt in doing this.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
So you'd much rather it be a better game and come out later than try to rush it out and put out a shoddy PC release. Like look at the games we've seen that for before, where the PC release comes out broken and the console releases are fine because that's
Batman Arkham did totally fucked that up, and it really killed sales.
It took almost a year for them to finally fix that. So
I agree with that part. I don't care how long. Like I don't actually care if I will buy it on the PC because I can get more than 30 frames per second. That's the real main reason I'm going to do it. But man, I am unbelievably disappointed in Bungie for this to be a part 2. And for them to state the last 2 years that this is a real part 2, it's a new game. Nothing that came out in that stream even remotely reminded me that this is a new game. This feels at best as an expansion pack that I usually don't pay for in most games on my PC. I am extremely disappointed at being sort of lied to against the hype of Bungie to pretend that this was going to be something all new. But, it is what it is, I guess. And I'll play it because I would buy the expansion pack, right? I just know that I'm spending an extra $30 for what it really amounts to, an expansion pack. No new classes. Subclasses were slightly changed with, like, the biggest thing that made me laugh was the Blade Dancer now being the Bow Dancer. It's the same spell. We gave him a staff. Now it's new, right, guys? Can we clap for that? I guess we can.
Yeah. You're not the typical Destiny fan, though, so.
Yeah, I have common sense. And, like, I know that, for most Destiny fans, they're just going to eat whatever shit's put in front of them. And I get that to some degree. I'm a large enough fan that I've played it for long enough where I want new raids. I want new strikes. But the thing is, I never said I didn't want those things either. And if they were just going to give me a part 2 that is the same game, I also would not have been disappointed. Like, I've always said, if they just gave me new raids and new strikes for the next 5 years, it would be just like me playing WoW. That's the reason I play the game. That's the content I want. So on that level, I think they're going to hit the nail on the head. I have complete faith in Luke. I think he's an amazing raid designer. And the game is phenomenal. So, but no 60 FPS. We're buying a Scorpio.
Well, no, that has not. The deal? No, they have not said on Scorpio on PS4 Pro. They've said that it's at 30 because PS4 Pro.
Can I tell you? All right. Can I tell you why? You brought up the point though. It will.
You think because they're in bed with PlayStation?
There's no chance. So. There's no chance in hell.
No.
And this will get to our next story where we're going to pretend that it's possible. And we'll talk about that in a second. But I would not for a million years believe that they'd give you 60 FPS on the Scorpio when the PS4 just can't handle it. It's such a slap in their face. Like, man, if you just had a Scorpio, you could like literally double your FPS for the same price. Yeah, maybe. I don't, given what they've released, I would say probably not.
I'll bet you that in the ultimate, like, taking from both sides, this is going to come out at E3 in Microsoft's press conference, and they're going to say, like, because they're not the home of Destiny, but they are going to be the ones that say, you know what? And if you had with Scorpio or whatever the new name they're actually going to announce at E3 is, when you play Destiny 2, it is going to be at 60 frames a second, and people are going to go fucking wild.
No, because that's a slap in the face of Sony, and that's their.
But that's not. But that's
Keep in mind, it is a software decision on their part to push 60. So that means Bungie would have to willingly unlock 60 FPS on the Xbox Scorpio only.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that. That's all their money is in Sony. There's no
their money
chance.
isn't in Sony. Sony's money is in them.
It doesn't matter. If your biggest sponsor, let's call them, is Sony, and the product that you put out is better on the only competition's platform, I wouldn't want to be in that meeting afterwards. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't want to be part of that.
But that's not what their deal was. Their deal is you get our exclusive shit first. Their deal is not like the ultimate way to sell to both sides, because right now Xbox people are pissed off because the PlayStation guys get all the stuff first. So now you flip the script and you say, hey, you know what? On the Xbox side, you can get 60 for you might not get the
if you had any smarts in you at all, like if you're a gamer, you would always take the 60 FPS. I would like gladly give PS4 their like whatever new map.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't give a shit. If I can get like double and actual smooth gameplay, you need 60 FPS to play an FPS properly. Period. Like it just doesn't play the same. I would gladly do it. And the whole reason I'm buying it on PC is legitimately just for 60 FPS. Which I have another gripe about, which is that none of the shit's going to carry over from PC to Xbox or console, which they also confirmed that as well. Which again, what year is this? I mean, it is so insane that we're building video games and we don't have these fundamentally core things that every other PC game has had, even indie games that people are making in their backyard on a fucking TI-85, and they're still got dedicated servers. It's like, what is going on over there?
I know. It's
and
crazy.
Even more bizarre is they're in bed with Bungie or with Blizzard, who has arguably the largest network of dedicated servers on the planet for gaming, and they can't just piggyback on that network?
Yeah. It's just. Plus, you got Battle.net, and so if you sync that profile across everything, it's the same reason why you can go play Heroes of the Storm and get your free loot and Overwatch on the Xbox. Like, it knows what you're doing.
It's just a Battle.net account. Yeah. It has all your shit synced to the cloud.
Yep.
I don't know. I will say this story is mildly depressing for me, and I was extremely let down by the so-called brand new video game.
There's plenty of time for news to come. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Next story. So 45 million people are gabbing about games on Discord. So I am a Discord user and have actually, I think, three channels open on there, or 3 servers. But if you haven't been using it, it's a great product. I suggest you do. So if you have been using Discord to chat with people that you play games with, you are not alone. Not very, very alone. No, I don't know. Today, the company behind the popular chatting app has announced that there are 45 million registered users on Discord, which is way more than I would have ever thought, and it is really surprising to me. What is really most notable about this is it was 11 million last July, so they are just pumping in new people. In a statement to Gamasutra, a Discord rep states that the peak concurrent users for the chat app has clocked at 4 million concurrent users, which is actually pretty significant, with an average of 8.9 million people logging on every day. If you are a community manager interested in how large a server can actually get, believe it or not, the largest is at 77,000 users on one server. And I will tell you this, I've been on some servers that are like 10K up to 30K, no lag, unbelievably fast response time. It is an amazing product. So if it sounds like a user base you'd want to tap into as a game developer, you should probably know that back in December, the company announced tools to help developers build in-game chat and voice integration with the app, which I actually have done. Our Discord app for Destiny allows you to sign up for raids, and then I send an announcement when the raid is ready, and it has everyone sign up. And it all happens through Discord. You type commands to the bot signs you up. One of the easiest developer tools I think I've ever had to work with. Great product. What are your thoughts?
I like Discord. The UI still has a little bit it's not quite the best UI if you're a member of multiple Discord servers. That part becomes a little confusing, but I do like it. You're shaking your head like you disagree with that.
I mean, it's like the circles on the left-hand side. You just click the circle.
But how many circles do you have on your left-hand side?
6.
Okay, so I have like 17. So it becomes a little less manageable that way. Because the problem is everybody that you're following that streams, they all have their own Discords. Now you're part of I don't
join that shit.
Okay, so I'm part of all those. I get the emails. Oh, someone mentioned you in this Discord and whatever. But I do like it. The audio quality is impressive, especially considering that now that we know this huge number of fucking users that are out there. That's insane. And if you compare it to things that we've used in the past, like
Slack is the obvious, comparison. They stole their UI completely, and they pretty much said like heavily inspired by. But it works, it's a UI that works. People recognize it. And yeah, I mean, TeamSpeak and Mumble and all those other things they're no longer cool. I don't know anyone that uses those anymore.
So here's the speculation. When does Discord bring in video?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the thing. I think so. There's
next logical step, right?
Yeah, there was a blog post not too long ago by their dev team saying like they don't have any plans for it. And I think the reason I would see them not doing it is because it doesn't relate to their core, like what it is, which is all about gaming. And you don't really there's no room for video chat in gaming. Like maybe if you need to see the guy's face as he's grunting while he's holding a controller, I guess. I don't know, but like, I hope they don't bifurcate from being the core gaming app, because I think that would hurt their bottom line. But I get it. There could be video.
Like their tech is so good. Like, so you could say like, you know what? I'm playing with these 8 guys, and now you got kind of like when you watch a movie and they're playing a shooter, or like if you watch Noobs and there's everybody playing, and then you see everybody's video of themselves in the corner, like, oh shit, like it's kind of fun. Like if you could just place those windows or pop them out, place them around your screen, and see your buddies.
Do you want to waste bandwidth though that you could be using for? I wouldn't do it for the lag reasons, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if they do that, then they are Slack. Like they're so close now to Slack that they might as well just be Slack at that point.
Part of the reason why I want it is self-serving, because I figured we could somehow replace it instead of Skype here, and then we'd be good to go. Because the audio is
it'd be nice to honestly just have everyone come to the Tool to Play server and chat, and I don't even care about Twitch chat. Like, I mean, like, The Discord server chats, I think, are so much more intuitive and more interactive than you can get on Twitch. And they actually integrate with Twitch anyway. Like, that's how good the integration point is. So for me, it's a better product all around. I could see on the video side, just going straight through Discord to be our video service would be nice. So I agree on the for us reasoning.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's for sure. Sometimes you got to go through the back door. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. We need video. It's important. Yeah.
Yep. Nice.
All right.
Next story.
Microsoft clarifies that the Scorpio frame rate is not locked by Microsoft. Ooh, Bungie, what are you going to do now? Microsoft has clarified another detail about its upcoming brand new console. Xbox engineering Mike Ybarra confirmed that Microsoft will not force developers to ensure that their frame rates have parity between the old system, the Xbox One, or the Scorpio. It doesn't matter, which is great. Responding to someone on Twitter who said that this would be the case, Ybarra stressed that no such mandate is in place. Quote, "No, there isn't," he said, to suggest that there is a requirement that a game's Xbox One frame rate is the same as the Scorpio version. Quote, "It is up to the developers to choose for their games what they want to do," end quote. It's awesome. In another tweet, Ybarra laid out Microsoft's policy on this even more clearly and directly. Quote, "Developers are free to choose how they use the power of the Scorpio for games. We have no requirements limiting frame rate or fidelity," he said. So you can you take it to the max as long as it's stable. GTG. This is pretty cool. Microsoft is positioning Scorpio as the most powerful console ever made. So it would be unfortunate if developers had to rein in their vision for games by limiting frame rates and fidelity. Microsoft studio boss Shannon Loftus thinks developers will keep the frame rates consistent for multiplayer games, which I totally agree with, because if I am playing a 60 FPS game versus your 30 FPS in Destiny on multiplayer, I have an advantage. Totally have an advantage. All other games work on Scorpio, though the Scorpio editions can look and perform better in some cases if developers want to do that. It is a similar situation with the PS4 and PS4 Pro. Microsoft is expected to share more details on the Scorpio at E3 or sooner. Presumably, we will learn the console's official name and price, I hope, among other things in the weeks and months to come before the system's launch this holiday. So I will say I think you are rarely, if ever, going to see the difference in FPS, because I do think they want to keep. This is the thing that pisses me off, and my brother and I were talking about this, and I thought of you. This whole idea that now we're getting these new systems, and this is the same problem that happened with Destiny before. We are relegated by old technology and forced to do things. Now, Microsoft's saying that it's not the case.
That's what this guy said on Twitter. He was like,
but it doesn't matter, because the developers,
30.
The developers are going to do that.
I don't think they will.
Because they don't want to give advantage. They don't want gamers. Gamers freak out about the smallest advantages humanly possible. And I am telling you this, if you have a 60 FPS game versus a 30, you will have an advantage in shooting.
There's a definite advantage there. But at the same time, these developers want their game to appear to be the best game.
I would really hope so. Truly. But
if I was developing, Destiny, I would be like, fuck those guys. You know what?
Think of the hackery and the shittery that had to go on just to get the vault where they wanted it to be, and how long that took. And it was all because of the
old shitty system.
The piece of shit. And why are we giving developers, these hardcore systems, and then telling them, well, I mean, I guess Microsoft's doing the right thing by saying, it ain't my problem. If the developer wants to fuck you over, take it up with him, which, by the way, is an amazing thing to say.
That's the best stance. That is
the best stance ever. So now you blame it is only the developer's fault. If it comes out in, what is it, September? I don't know. Destiny comes out and it is 30 FPS on the Scorpio, that's because of Bungie. It's no one else's fault. Yeah. It's rough.
I don't know. I know that Shannon Loftus is not the end all. Mikey Ybarra is more in tune with what these developers are doing on the Scorpio than Shannon Loftus is just in a position of power. He's a manager's manager. He is not talking to these guys day to day. He's not making these decisions. I doubt it if we're going to see that frame rate locked at 30, because these guys have been wanting out of consoles what they get from the PC. Fuck 60. Some of these things have unlocked frame rates. Like I can play certain games at 120 for FPS. Like in 4K.
On PC it's a different. Yeah. I play Overwatch at like 130 something.
Yeah, I play at 121 at 4K.
It's like
full res. Yeah,
the fact that I can do that, and you're going to give me a machine that should do that.
Yeah, my Overwatch at 1080p on the PC is 200 something frames per second. It's insane. Like, it's nuts. So the fact these guys have wanted this because it makes their games look better. It makes people enjoy the games more. So I don't think we're going to see this locked in multiplayer. Maybe there'll be some kind of medium where you're like, well, if you can go into matchmaking and play with only 60 frames a second people versus 30 or
I don't think they'll want to write that into their code. I wouldn't want to write that in my code base.
No, so then they're just so then they're just going to write we're going to lock the Scorpio at 60, we're going to lock the Xbox One at 30, and it is what it is. You know what? If you didn't it's an advantage, but it's
I don't think so. People care too much about these things, and I tell you what, if I knew that my system could do 60 versus yours at 30, I would go buy the 60. And that is an advantage of money that not everyone has. And so it's a clear advantage. You might as well, throw in a mouse and keyboard and call it a fucking day. But I don't know. It's man, I really can't wait to see how this comes together, because it is going to be really interesting to see if Bungie has the balls to not only do 60, but do 60 against the ability of the PS4. That's a double fuck you. So if that happens, maybe some faith will be restored, but I seriously doubt it.
Now, on the flip side, a single player game, I guarantee you there's going to be 60 frames a second on.
No question.
No doubt.
No reason not to do it. Yeah.
Every game is going to be superior on the Scorpio versus.
I think that's probably.
They're going to be in 4K. There's going to be fucking these insanely high frame rates. It's going to be awesome. So
yeah, I buy that. I think that'll be the case for the majority of games. But yeah, whether or not they want to take the leap in multiplayer, time will tell.
I think smaller developers will jump on it. No problem. I'll bet you Rocket League for the.
I agree with that 100%. Because for smaller games, you're right that they must give the gamer absolutely everything that is possible, because they have no choice. They have to desperately sell their games. A company like Bungie has the luxury of saying no. They really do. And you'll still buy it, and I'll still buy it as well. I mean, if they come out tomorrow and prove me right and say 30 lock on Scorpio, I'm still going to buy it. I'm still going to buy
it too, but I still am putting my faith in them that that's not going to happen.
After what you saw, you have faith still. No dedicated servers in 2017.
We'll get
30
to this.
FPS. Jesus.
We'll get to it.
All right. Anyway.
All right.
Next story. Mario Kart 8 devs patch a potential obscene taunt. This is weird, but funny. There's a new patch out this week for the Nintendo Switch game Mario Kart 8 Deluxe up to version 1.1. And one of the changes appears to be the removal of an in-game gesture that may be rude or obscene for some players. This is a good reminder that gestures and messages will appear in your game, can be interpreted differently in different parts of the world, and sometimes even be offensive. Prior to patch 1.1, the Inking Girl, I think from the Squid Game or whatever it's called, right? I think that's it.
Maybe,
I don't know. I own the game, and I can't even think of which girl this is. So that character in Deluxe would occasionally grin, flex one arm, and lay her hand on the bicep. And we all know that. That means, how you doing? We're best friends. Eurogamer points out that this is very similar to the Bras d'un Howler gesture, which is considered obscene in many parts of the world, including Brazil and France. And here, too, really. I mean, everyone knows what that is here. And after this week's patch, it appears that the Inking Girl taunt has been modified so that the character simply flexes her arm and then maybe holds up a middle finger. That'd be dope. They just switched. But they didn't do that. So, well, this makes sense, right? Like, this is... Yeah, like, kind of.
No? This is kowtowing at its best.
Like, I mean, they kind of have to. For the reason that all Nintendo games are kids' games. And so, no matter what, some kid in France or Brazil or here is seeing like this, every time they win, and they're giggling and snickering to their friends, and
All right, so even if they fix it, the fucked up part then is that someone originally thought that was a good idea to be the taunt.
True.
That'd be like grabbing your nuts, like, yeah, like,
unless
we
that
had to
guy
take out
just
the neck
didn't
grab
know.
because some people found that offensive. Like,
although I will say, you are right. Like, this is making me really think, because what would this ever have meant to begin with?
Yeah.
Right. Like, what is there another thing that means? Does that mean like good job or something in some other culture?
It doesn't. No, I guarantee you right now that doesn't mean anything else anywhere except for I fucking owned you, bitch. Like,
oh God, this really makes me wonder. Yeah, because that means he knew. He would have to be like, this is gonna be hilarious. I'm gonna have this fucking little ink squid girl tell her to go fuck themselves every time she wins. I mean, maybe. Either way, it's amazing. It is amazing. Good for them.
I don't know. I felt like it was better before.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. Derek, what do you think about the story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, when we hop on over the mailbag and voicemail, aka Altius's Corner. Altius asks, knowing you both are/were fans of Destiny, what's your take on the reveal?
I didn't even see this question when I first read it, so I probably should have held off on my hate.
Oh, no. There's still stuff to talk about.
There's stuff to talk about. Okay, I'll go through the quick list.
You started with some negative comments.
I will go through the quick list of what I liked. That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
New raid, yay. Story finally being something. Now, I'm not even a story guy, but at least at a minimum, I do want to have some form of coherence in my storyline. So that's good. Some of the class changes look good. Everything else looks pretty mundane and normal. It doesn't appear to be a part 2 of a game for me. Also, 4v4 instead of 6v6 is an amazing way of saying we still can't get our networking together, so we're going to tone it down a bit, and then pretending that that's what we wanted all along. Bravo. That is some really good way of fucking circle jerking yourselves and pretending you're doing something for the fans. This is good work.
You're very critical. Okay, this is good.
Come on. The 4v4 thing.
All right, so the way I saw it, I'll start with your things. So the 4v4 multiplayer, that's a standard multiplayer format. It's real easy to roll with 4 buddies, with you and 3 buddies, and roll in multiplayer. 6 is a weird number. It was weird from day one in Destiny. It's a weird number of friends to have to.
It's so weird, though, that Overwatch has sold 30 million copies in less than a year and is now the highest selling FPS in the longest time and has 6.
But
is it weird?
But how many times do you go to Overwatch and see a 6-man pre-made? Not often. You see a 4 and 2 randos.
If you're in a 6-man pre-made, you will see a 6-man pre-made. The way matchmaking works in Overwatch is the likelihood of being matched with a 6v6 is significantly less if you are a 2v2 or 3v3 or 4v4. That's the way it works. So, yes, I don't know how many people you play with, so I can't judge you on that.
Usually we play 4 or 5.
Yeah. So you'll see a 4, you'll see a 3-3, you'll see a 2-2-2, you'll see a 4-1-1.
1, yeah.
But you'll almost never see a 6-6, and that's because Bungie is really smart, or Blizzard's really smart, and they know that you should never really match a 6 team with anything else other than a 6 because it's usually an unfair advantage. So that's just them being great developers. But 6v6 works fine. And it was never a problem.
Worked fine forever.
Yes, but nobody ever said, I want this to be 4v4. When they announced it, they're like, we're giving you exactly what you wanted. And unless I've been living under a fucking rock, I never saw posts on Reddit or anywhere else where everyone's like, if this was 4v4, the shit would be legit. And here's the really odd part about that. We have a 3v3. So, like, Trials is 3. You're telling me, which, by the way, is the comp in that game. That's comp. Yeah, comp is 3v3. So why did we need... So you add 1 extra person, and now this is what everybody wanted? Who believes this shit? You cannot believe this. You cannot believe it's for us.
All right. So I never believed it was for us. I just liked that it was changing. Now, another thing you mentioned, the story. The story, obviously, I feel like is going to be far superior in this. Obviously, a lot more things to tie you in. I feel like taking out that centralized quest hub of the tower and pushing that out into the world is a much better way to tell a story. It's very World of Warcrafty. You're walking through some place and there's some random NPC that's going to give you a quest or whatever. It's more that sort of feel than the I'm going back to the one place where all of the quests come from. Like,
no, I agree with that as well. That is a good change. Good change.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the fact there's a new raid. I like the fact that there's a new strike. I like all that stuff. I know you're calling it expansion,
but it is.
I feel like that the UI changes are definitely something better. I feel like the changes to not having the simple primary.
The weapon slot stuff you're right. The weapon slot and ammo changes are good changes, but again, could have been done in Destiny 1. It wasn't like this isn't like a part 2 thing. Really, a part 2 is a new subclass. That's a part 2, new subclass, and even that I would argue is an expansion because World of Warcraft. That's what you get. You actually get new shit, real new shit. But at least to that level would have been nice, which changes the dynamic of the whole game. That's the thing that you need in a part 2 or an expansion, is you need that like new character or new thing that means like, oh wow, this is a hard counter to X, Y, and Z that never existed before, and it shifts the gameplay. Well, I don't see a shift in game.
That's what they did with the subclasses, because the old ones are all gone.
Kind of. Again, is Blade Dancer not Pole Dancer? Am I crazy? Okay, is Fist of Havoc not really just Fist of Havoc that lasts a lot longer? Like what is the what's it gonna do to change gameplay? Is the new sword thing not hammer? Like flaming hammer? It is. It's flaming hammer.
But is there no longer self-res? Is there no, like, we don't know any of these things yet.
Yes, but the things that we do know, here's the thing. If you want to impress me in a reveal, you don't show me the things that are actually the same as what they were before with different sugar coating on it and new sprinkles. You got to show me. The newest thing is the shield and the barrier, right? Yeah. Titan right now looks so much better than the other subclasses and classes simply because it is the only new thing out of any of the 3. It's the only thing where you're like, oh, I never had a fucking, Captain American shield before. It's baller. I want that. Yeah. But like, if I'm a Blade Dancer right now and you show me the new Blade Dancer and you're like, well, now you have a bow, am I supposed to be stoked? Because I'm a hunter and I got to be honest, I'm not that stoked. It's the same thing.
I'm all warlocky all the time, and I like stuff. Oh, the clan stuff is nice.
Huge improvement. Probably, arguably, the best thing that they're going to be doing, especially with the Sherpa stuff. That is I will give Bungie credit because they are so good at social, and it's finally nice to see them go back into like that reimagining of what social can be. Because let's be honest, they really did clans right, and they were like the leaders in clans when it came to Halo. That's like they changed.
That's what forced Microsoft to push their friends list stuff.
They had to do it, right? And this, idea-wise, is one of the best ideas I've heard of.
And the Sherpaing is almost like clan recruitment. It's like, we don't have enough people. Someone likes, Tool to Play. You guys are, 25 plus. I would like to play with you guys. Hey, we need someone. Let's bring in this guy. They all of a sudden have fun. Boom. Now you bring him into the fold. Now we have another Tool to Play member that came from doing this way. So
and I like the people that do work. The other people that can't get a payment out of that.
Yep.
That's it. Those are all great things. Clan banners, all that. I think that's all a huge move in the right direction. Yep. But let me ask you, do you consider it a part 2?
I'm gonna wait until we see everything.
Well, I mean, with the information you have now, do you feel it's a $60 game?
Well, knowing what I paid $30 for in the expansions, it's still a $60 game because the expansions were overpriced.
Yeah.
It really comes down to what else are we getting as part of this? And the other things now that we don't know are, because especially since there's no more need for 360 support, so they've obviously been able to rewrite the entire underlying engine to not have to deal with that. So now you're not going to see that slowness in the UI on the vanilla Xbox One. Does this open us up to raids that are more than 6-man raids? No one knows. No, I
know.
How do you know?
Because I see this game for what it is. I'm willing to bet $100 right here and now. No questions asked. I'll give you $100. If you want to bet me that raids will be more than 6. And I know you won't, because you don't want to take that bet, because I'm looking at you right now.
I know.
I'm a little
nervous.
You're saying to yourself, it's 6v6 and or 6 people in a raid. You know it. The downgrading it to 4 and they're going to upgrade to 6 to what, an 8? No.
I'd like to see a 12-man raid.
Me too. Wouldn't we all? I thought that's what I would want out of a part 2.
I remember you and I talked to Deej at
what did Deej say when we first? Remember what he said? 25-ish.
Yes, 25-ish.
25-ish.
So obviously there's someone at Bungie that still wants this.
Here's why I don't think as well. Because the whole discussion of this new Part 2 expansion pack is wanting to get more people into Raid. 50% of the people that play the game never saw endgame content. Yeah. And you can't have that problem and try to solve it and then add 2 more people to that, because everyone knows the hardest part of raiding, even if it's not Destiny, but
it's getting your raid group.
It's getting people.
Yeah. Yep.
People are hard to find, and people that you want to have a lot of and keep them steady every week is even harder to do. So I think they're going to be sticking with the 6. I'm willing to bet money on it, no problem. And but I also don't think, like, if they change it to 8, that'd be great. But I also just don't care a lot. 6v6 is fine. I have a good time raiding. It's okay. I do want more, but we can do.
I'm looking forward to getting more news about this as we get closer to launch. But
I like Deep's comment. 8 people on Scorpio. Scorpio gets 8 people. Everyone else gets 3 people rating only. Scorpio gets 8.
Yep. It's possible. And unlock frame rates on Scorpio. All right. Well, great question, Altius. And if any of you have awesome questions like Altius, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread in the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors, remember, by supporting our sponsors, you help support Still Got Game. We've got some fucking good shit. We've got ThinkGeek and we've got the Craft Beer Club. These guys are fucking the pinnacle of sponsors. And you definitely want to support them to support us. So if you're going to buy anything from ThinkGeek, you need to go to toolplay.com/geek and shop through there. You'll get ThinkGeek's best possible deal, and it will definitely help the show out. If you're someone interested in craft beer and you're signed for a Beer of the Month subscription, you go to tooltoplay.com/beer, and you get the Craft Beer Club's best possible subscription. So you go there, you get some free pint glasses, all kinds of other stuff. So if you're going to shop for either of these things anyway, help us out. Go to toolplay.com/geek or toolplay.com/beer and help the show out. And if you want to sponsor us, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolplay.com. You tell us you're selling, we're touching the pass. We'll sell it, you pass. Boom, done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tool-to-play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the internet, got everything that's fucking holy at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
Twitter.com/DudeIRock.
And twitter.com/electrify.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool-to-play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/DudeIRock.
Facebook.com/Tiff Nolan.
We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool-to-play. That's the place to find all of Tool to Play's archive video content, whether it's episodes of this show, whether it's unboxings, live streams, whether it's Tiff's show that's coming back soon, immature interviews, whether it's quick hits that he said he was bringing back like on this show directly like 2 months ago and still hasn't brought back, but it is coming back. No matter what it is, that is where all of our archive video content goes. So go to youtube.com/tool-to-play, subscribe, and you'll be notified whenever any new content shows up there. Also, please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews. So just go there, click the 5-star button, helps us out. And if you have an extra 2 seconds, just write something nice with it. The show's awesome. Love it. Gods. Oh my God, this show's the best thing ever. I fucking cream all over myself every week. Whatever you want to write, doesn't matter. It just goes along with your 5-star review. Just tack it on. It's like a value add thing. So help us out. 5 stars, write something nice. We have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tool-to-play. That's where Tool-to-Play does all of our live video shit. So whether we're streaming directly on the Tool-to-Play channel, whether I'm streaming on Derek Nolan and it's being rebroadcast by Tool-to-Play, whatever, it all goes to twitch.tv/tool-to-play. So if you go there and you follow us there, you'll be notified whenever we go live and shit shows up, and you get to see all of our content there, all of our live content. But the important thing at twitch.tv/tool-to-play is, in addition to that follow button, there's a little subscribe button. And when you click that, that is the way to directly support the show. Now, the thing is, or maybe it's up top, Tiff showing me in the stream, It's up top, it's down low, wherever it is on your screen. Macs are backwards because they're ass backwards, whatever. It's up top, it's down low, it's left, right. Doesn't matter where it is. It says subscribe. So go there, click subscribe, and help us out. And if you're like, well, you know what? You guys really aren't worth $5 a month to me. Well, think again, good sir or madam. Are you a Twitch Prime member? You don't even know. You don't know what that is. Are you an Amazon Prime member? Well, then you're a Twitch Prime member. And what that does is that lets you once a month pick any one Twitch stream you like and subscribe absolutely free. It doesn't cost you any money. Amazon's going to take $5 out of their pocket and they're going to put it in Twitch's pocket. That's going to come to our pocket. And it costs you nothing. They did some kind of weird 3-man handshake for no good reason because they're the same fucking company. But it helps us out. So once a month, go there. And granted, it's not in perpetuity, so you have to go back each month and redo it again just so you're not accidentally paying someone forever because you forgot about it. But once a month, go there, click your Twitch Prime subscription, cost you nothing, helps us out. So definitely do that up, and it is the best way to put money in our pocket. And I guess before we wrap up, I want to remind you all, you can join us each and every Monday night, except for next week because we're not here. Lots of conflicts next week. Tiff and I are in Vegas. Jay's got something else. Hit's finally back, but he has no people to do a show.
I'm in New York. So
yeah. So next week, no show. But normally, you can join us each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. And on that, why don't we wrap this fucking second hitless episode in a row up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Do That Rock Albert.
I'm Tiffany Electrify Nolan.
We'll see you all in 2 weeks, back with the full crew.